VoxWave now features a streaming radio media player on our website's front page, where local artists can get their music played 24/7. For more information on getting your music in rotation or to perform live at our studio, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
Android users, the VoxWave app is now available in the Google Play Store. Download the app today on your Android device to listen in and view programs.
Business owners looking for a place to advertise your business and promote your products and services? VoxWave is the right place. We have over 10,000 views a day and 70,000 listeners a month. For more information, contact Reg Gaskins at 240-832-4455.
The world's #1 streaming music station, VoxWave.com.
We have your favorite shows on VoxWave.com. Check out our lineup. The Kim Show, Mondays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the End We Win with Curtis, Mondays, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Cooking with Flavors with your host, Chef Flavors, Tuesdays, 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Slick Daddy Rick, Heartbeat Congo Hour, Tuesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Impact the World Radio TV show with Cheryl Woods, Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. The Digital Digest with your host, Digital Ace, Wednesdays, 3 to 5 p.m. Live Set Wednesdays with your host, Frank Dent, Wednesdays, 8 to 9 p.m. The BGKH Show with your hosts, Dominion and Epic, Wednesdays, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. You, Math, and Me with George Randall, Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Then, on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m., The Prayer, Praise, and Deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr., The 640 Evening Show, Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The Peace in the Morning Show with your host, Darius A. Stanton, co-host, Delicate Daryl Barnes, and Queen Ayakidobi, Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Hall Street Journal with your host, Robert Hall, and co-host Clarence Sanders, Fridays, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Frank, The Success Principles, Friday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Chanel's 3 Cents, Friday, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. The Daryl Allen Harrison II Crime Victims Foundation Show, hosted by Daryl Harrison II, every Friday from 3 to 4:30 p.m. The Rush Hour with DJ Drew and Janique, every Friday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Different Minds Show, hosted by DJ Bam 640 and DJ Andre Michael, and your co-host, MC Fran, every Friday, 9:15 p.m. to 11:15 p.m. The Healer Blues Show, with host Ron Jackson, every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Hour of Power, with your host, Reverend Winters Rogers, every Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And again, the Prayer, Praise, and Deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr., Saturday, 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. And don't forget Four Sisters Live Talk, Saturday at 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Turning dreams into reality talk show with your host, Tashika L. Green, every second Saturday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Walk in Newness 24/7 with Missionary Antoinette, Saturdays, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. News, ULN, news and analysis, information, sports, and Black history with your news anchor, Roderick Carter Willis, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Step your game up with the Youth Project, hosted by DJ Main and DJ Low Hefe, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And don't miss The To Go Show with Kim Brown, Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. I am Dr. Sharon Show, each Sunday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., featuring The Grind, Entrepreneur Network Spotlight, and Write the Book Now. The Riri Williams Show, Fashion and Style Hour, every first Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Real Talk 101, Sundays 6 to 8 p.m. And every third Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m., the Third Sunday Tea Talk Show with Dr. Akita Pearson. Gospel Live TV Show with host Gloria Mello, each Sunday from 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. Listen to all your favorite shows on VoxWave.com.
VoxWave.com. VoxWave.com, streaming your favorite jazz, blues, and R&B 24/7.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why am I always still fixing my hair when the camera come on? I'm just saying, you know, that's a woman thing, I guess.
It is.
Welcome! Oh my God, it feels so wonderful to be in the studio, considering we missed last Wednesday because of this darn snow in March. Like, really? Are we over it? Do you think we're over it?
I hope so.
Me too. It's
I hope
spring.
So. We'll see.
Right,
We'll
it's
see.
spring, baby. Come on with the spring weather. I'm waiting.
Right.
But welcome back. It's Wednesday. We're super excited to be here with you on Impact the World Radio. Shouting out everybody who is viewing, shouting out everybody who's with us, all these amazing people who are dialing in and logging in through Facebook Live. We see you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Renee, talking about my girl, Cuckoo.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. Thank you for being here for this amazing session that we're going to have today with 4 more phenomenal women. I mean, we've been bringing you great women who are doing amazing things in the world for the entire month of March. As you know, it's Women's History Month, and today is no different. So I'm not going to run my mouth because I want to make sure we have enough time to talk to our guest, this lovely young lady who's sitting to the left of me. If you don't know her, you need to take out a pen and a piece of paper and write down her name and her information right now. Her name is Ramunda Lark Young. And let me tell you a little bit about her. So she worked as a community relations professional for a decade, where she cultivated her skill of establishing authentic business connections by building partnerships with schools, officials, corporations, and others. She's a proud graduate of Langston University, you go, and the CEO and connection strategist of Ramunda Young Inc., where she passionately helps women craft their value voice, we'll have to talk about that, to build business relationships that increase sales and self-confidence. And she's also, and this is probably where you've been hearing all the uproar about who she is lately, she is the co-founder of Mahogany Books with her husband, Derek, where they recently opened the doors of their first brick and mortar, their first physical location in Washington, D.C., after being online for 10 years. Their bookstore focuses on books by, about, and for those of African-American descent. And that has made headlines in this historic area that they're in the Anacostia community, because there hasn't been a bookstore there for 20 years. Yes. 20 years, y'all. We're talking about some good stuff here. She's been named a top 5 influential women of Prince William County. She's received the Courageous Woman Leader Award from the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. She's been featured on Essence, Blavity, Washington Magazine, Washington Informer. Whew. Let me take a breather. NBC and ABC, and the list goes on and on and on. And most importantly, probably I should have said this first, is she's a proud mother of her daughter, Mahogany.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, I just love all the excitement and the energy that is around Mahogany Books. Now, did you name it Mahogany Books after your daughter?
You know what? That is the dilemma. I can't remember. I cannot remember. You know, our daughter, she just turned 13, and we've been in business for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So I guess she came first.
Yeah.
And I love the name Mahogany. So she has a business as well, Mahogany Crafts. We have Mahogany
it.
Books. So the name just makes me think of something very rich, very strong. So yes, it came
love
first.
that.
Thank
Well,
you.
again, congratulations on
Thank you.
all of the media coverage and the excitement that's around Mahogany Books. I just want you to talk to us about when you first started, right? Because here, you know, we're all about impacting the world with the thing that is going to allow you to leave your unique fingerprint on the world. But I think a lot of times people see what's happening now, and they don't realize that it was a journey and a process to get here. So talk to us a little bit about how you got started and what it's been like over the past 10 years before you got to this kind of monumental space.
Absolutely. So my husband and I actually sat and thought about what business we wanted to create that could impact the community. We had been entrepreneurs. We did a lot of multi-level marketing at first, and we're very successful in that. But we said, let's switch and see how we can impact our community in a stronger way. And so we were in our little 2-bedroom apartment in Alexandria, Virginia, thinking of what can we do that would have the most reach and most impact. And he was very impacted by books. I was very impacted by books, always read growing up. And so that was kind of the natural fit for us, books. And not just any books, we were focused on Black books. And I've been in the book industry for about 13 years. So books, you know, going to bookstores and not seeing us on the shelves really impacted us even then. And so we thought about, okay, if we start this bookstore and it's online, the goal was it could reach as many people as possible. I'm proud to be from Oklahoma.
All right,
Tulsa, Oklahoma in the house.
Oklahoma.
Proud to be from Oklahoma. And when we thought about how can we impact people in Oklahoma who may not have access to Black books, or people in Kentucky who did not have access to Black books, online was the way to go for us. Aside from the overhead being low. It's only 2 of us doing it.
Yeah, how about that?
And
Keeping
we
that
had
overhead low.
Yes, our little laptop in our little 2-bedroom apartment. And that's how we started. We wanted to have the largest reach, lowest amount of capital, and make the biggest difference. And so we started just reaching out to publicists and publishers who had never heard of Mahogany Books, right? Never heard of it. But they were open to creating platforms for Black authors as well. And so it was Grace. I talk a lot about Grace.
I know. We've been talking. Look, we've been here behind the scenes talking a lot about grace and people giving us grace and us giving grace to ourselves and grace that we get from doors of opportunity that are open for us. So, you know, you said a lot in that statement. I heard passion, that it was something that you were both very passionate about. It wasn't something that you just picked out of the randomly and saying, oh, how much money can we make? It was about a real love that you had in your heart and spirit for serving the community. And this is something I talk about all the time, you just got started. So sometimes you can overthink the process and want the whole blueprint to be mapped out in advance, but that typically doesn't happen. So talk about those startup years and how did you get people to say,
come on, Cheryl.
Yes.
What?
Right?
Let me tell you this. You just hit on something that it reminded me. For a long time, we wanted to get our website perfect because we were going online and we had to have this digital footprint that was immaculate. It had to be perfect. When people come to this page, we didn't want it to look like some little put together bookstore. Our customers, our consumers were our community, and we wanted to treat them with respect. But we went on year after year before we even launched this website, trying to perfect it, trying to get it right, trying to get all these little pieces. And a good friend of mine, she was an entrepreneur, and she said, Ramonda, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Do it. Launch the site, and you can tweak along the way. And so I said, when she said that, I sat on the phone, I was like, oh, I mean, I sat there and paused for a while because she was right. We could tweak until we're still tweaking.
Right. Exactly.
We're still
tweaking. Right. You 10 years in, you still find little things that you want to change. You're right. So that's so important that you just get started, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
Absolutely.
I tell every client I work with that, look, you can change something later that you start, but you can't change something that you never start.
Come on.
So I love that, and I love that you. So what were some of the challenges that you faced outside of, you know, hey, it took us a long time to kind of kickstart because we were waiting for it to look a certain way, but beyond that, what were some of the challenges you faced, and how did you get through the doors where people would accept and say, hey, yeah, we're gonna embrace what it is that you're bringing into the marketplace?
Right. So a few things. One, I had started in books. I'd worked at Caribou Books. We're very proud of. I worked there. I was one of their first and only district manager, so I was over the operations for stores. My husband had worked there when he was in college at Bowie State. So we had some pieces of the book industry in us, so we could walk through the door and say, hey, we've had this experience.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so starting at those places allowed us to build some of those relationships already. And I always tell people, I didn't know, to be honest, that I was going to books. We talked about it, we looked about it, but if I looked 20 years ago, I didn't know it would be books. And there were different dots in my life that I experienced that God showed me after a while that they all connected. So I started and worked at Howard University Bookstore for a little bit. Then I worked at, like I said, Caribou Books for a little bit. But that jump into Howard, that was my first foray into books. And I went there making this, my salary got cut, I had been laid off. And I said, I'm making half of what I made. I've already had a degree. Had reached this level of success. But here I was all the way back down on the rung.
Wow.
And my husband and I, we talked about it before I took that job. Is that where I want to go? And I said, yes, it was. I didn't know why. I didn't know why that dot was being placed there. But I knew it was an opportunity for me to impact my community. And I wanted to be in an environment where there was black, a black institution, and impacting the black community. And so I started at Howard into books. And so we worked there a little bit. I worked there for a little bit, maybe a few years, 3 years. And again, that experience, that dot allowed me again to connect with Caribou Books, that dot, and then we launched our business. But I didn't know those dots would lead me into building a bookstore. I just went somewhere where I felt like I was compelled, where my passion was, where my spirit was. But it was hard doing that because initially people were like, wait a minute, you're starting an online bookstore? Why would you do that? Bookstores are closing. We heard that year after year after year. Why even go on? This was even going online. Why even go online?
Right.
And so we did it anyway because we were compelled. This was something we had to do. Like you mentioned earlier, it was not about the money. It was about how could we impact our community. The money will come.
Won't it?
The money will come.
Can you just say that again?
I'm looking into the money will come. The money will come. 10 years ago, the money was not there.
And
I'm not saying I'm not a millionaire either now.
Right.
But
you like God for real? Like this what you're telling me to do? Like God, I've had debates with God. Like you done told me that this is what I was called to do.
Right.
I'm supposed to be speaking, but ain't nobody paying me.
What?
Yes. And that gets real, and sometimes that can discourage you. And then, like you said, other people who are questioning your vision.
My goodness.
And I think that's another huge challenge that a lot of people face is that other people don't see the vision. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing and making the moves you're making. Sometimes, look, I'm be real honest. My husband knows this. Even my husband sometimes like, really? That's what you're gonna do, chick? Why you still doing that? Or why are you doing that and they not paying you full price or what? And I'm like, sometimes it's just a vision that's so much bigger than the immediate return of the money, the monetary piece. But I know that relationships open more doors than anything
speaking my
else.
language.
You can get a one-time check.
Yes.
Or you can have potentially a lifetime relationship that allows you to keep getting checks over and over and over again.
Yes.
So I love that you pressed forward. You and your husband had the vision and you were willing to just kind of block out the noise and just move forward with the vision. So was there someone who who was the mouthpiece? Did you find that you assigned certain things in the business to people who had certain strengths? Like, okay, honey, you a good talker, or I'm a good talker, so I'm gonna be the person who goes out and promotes it, or talk about that so that we kind of follow the process of how it grew.
Absolutely. So, husband and wife, been married 16 years, in business for 10. I'm not going to go there about my husband.
She's shouting out her husband, Derek, right?
Derek,
she's shouting out Derek.
Absolutely. But we did have to identify the strengths. I enjoy being out in the public. I enjoy talking. I enjoy meeting people. That was not something he was all excited about. He is an operations, nuts and bolts person, and he is secure. That's the biggest thing I tell people.
That's lovely.
He is very secure being in the background. We just talked about this again recently. He was like, no. You are rocking. Yes. And it takes a supreme level of confidence from a man to say, you go out front, you represent us in this way. And he's very capable. He is dynamic. He is intelligent beyond belief. But he said, no, honey, this is somewhere you're very strong at, and I'm very okay with that. And so we did kind of identify those strengths. I love the community part, the relationship part. the building the events part, and so I would reach out to authors and publicists, and a lot of times they would say no. They were like, "Who are you again?"
Right.
And so we had to keep saying, "Hey, we're this."
Who are you again?
Yes, we're this bookstore. We're just starting out. We would love to, work with you. We'd been in books for a little bit before, but there were a lot of times that they said no. But he and I really kind of divided what that would look like. And even to this day, we still kind of stay in those lanes. And I can cross over into operations a little bit. He can cross over to do interviews. But we're very clear and at peace with what that is. And I tell everybody, they have to be at peace within their house.
Yes.
Because some men may say, I'm going to do this.
That's so true.
And we have to be secure in our own home with that. And we are. And it's just a blessing that we have those different roles. But yeah, we did. And we struggled at times, and I say struggle because there were times where we talked about the business at night, at lunch, on our anniversary, when we went to bed, 2 a.m. strategy sessions. And so trying to create that line between husband and wife and then business partners has been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
But a good journey, one that we understand. It's when we realize the picture is bigger than us, then it makes it a little bit easier.
Oh,
but
that's so powerful.
Yeah,
the picture is big, and I want you guys to own that right now. If you guys type that in Facebook, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to shout a couple folks out before we continue. Sherry Sims, how are you? Black Career Women Network. Dina Wiggins, thanks for being here. Twyla, thank you for being here. Karonda Fleming, rock your stage. How are you, sis? Renard Scott, Valerie Francis, Robert Smoot. Let's see, Noah is here. Datasha Mayo, Skip Powell, thanks for being here. Greg Walker, Courtney Flowers, Carol Walker, Stella Walker, Babette Owens, Joe Cato. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I can't read everybody, but we're shouting you out. Thank you for being here. And so again, repeat that again, what you just said. It was about...
the vision was bigger than us.
Yes.
It had to be bigger than us.
So my vision has to be bigger than me. I want you guys to type that in to the feed. My vision has to be bigger than me. And I think that is what will give you the determination, the commitment, the drive to keep pressing forward, even when, especially in the beginning stages, it's not everything that you want it to be or hope it for it to be. And another pivotal thing that you said was that word no. Woo!
Yes.
Because you cannot allow yourself to get crushed by the word no. Like no is just, that could be temporary. It could be no for now, but that doesn't mean you don't stop asking and seeking and continuing to press forward. So not allowing yourself to be so emotionally crushed by the word no. Do you know how many people who are massively successful that heard no over and over and over, thousands, hundreds of thousands of times before they got the book deal, or before they got the basketball career, or before they got the bookstore? Come on now.
Yes.
So you have to be willing to press through the no's and understand that your yes is coming. It's coming. Absolutely. But you got to get through some no's before you get to the yes. And everybody's not going to see your vision. Period. They're not going to see it. They're not going to. They're not going to understand it. They're not going to have the capacity to support it. Talk about that.
Let me tell you, because that's a whole other interview there. But I sat on this panel a few years ago, several years ago, maybe 6 or 7, and it was all these esteemed book people, and I was there, and we had our online bookstore, and it was doing great things. And even when we started, we always knew we wanted to have a physical store. Always knew. And on this panel, we were talking, they were like, what is your ultimate goal? And I said, we want to have a bookstore. And everybody on the panel made this loud noise, like, what? You can hear it. And I said, yes. And I started tearing up when I was talking about it, because it was not where the industry was shifting, right? There was this whole ebook revolution and the e-reader devices. But even in that moment, we knew that we wanted to have a store. And I just remember visibly, everybody on that panel was like aghast that we wanted to open this physical store. And the books were, the end of books.
Exactly.
But God is powerful. If we are open, I'm about to start crying now because... If we're open to listening to him, it wasn't just our idea to come up with a bookstore. He planted that seed in the both of us. And for us to walk away because of the naysayers, because they don't see the vision, then what? I mean, where's our faith lie?
Absolutely.
And so for us, it had to be, again, bigger than us. If Bill Gates walked away because people said, why are you putting all this information in this little box and that was sit on somebody's desk, then we wouldn't even be here now.
That's it.
And so I was very clear. It was hard to kind of cut through that noise. I'll be real, because it made me second guess. Like, are we really doing the right thing? Are we not? Should we be doing this? The book industry is shifting. It is going to e-readers and all this kind of stuff. But God said no.
Yeah.
God said no.
Yeah.
God said, get quiet and move all those things out of your way and listen to my voice.
And that's so key. Like look, the marketplace is very noisy. Sometimes you just got to get in a quiet space and shut out all of that noise where all you're hearing is his voice. Right. And I encourage people to be okay with silence and be okay and quiet, because sometimes you can get, especially in my industry and speaking and coaching and girls, like, Lord, I just need a break. Sometimes I got to turn everything off, all the devices, and I just got to just be in a space of quiet to listen and hear what are you supposed to be doing next? Where are you supposed to be going? And sometimes it does. You're questioning, okay, is this really the right choice? You're hoping it's the right decision. But I think when it keeps tugging at you and pulling on your spirit, that you should absolutely move with that, regardless of what anybody else's opinion is about your vision. It is your vision for a reason. You said just so many things. Again, not getting crushed by the word no, having your own vision and sticking to that vision and persisting with it, even when it seems odd to other people. That just means you blazing trails. We call it a trailblazer. That's all it means. You are a trailblazer. You're not someone who's a conformer or a follower of what everybody else is doing. And I think that makes you stand apart in the marketplace versus blending in.
Right. And let me just say this too. Even though it took us 10 years, right? And we were like, we want to have this bookstore. We want to have this bookstore, this physical space. Just recently it dawned on me that God had planted that seed within us. But those 10 years allowed us to build these relationships with publishers, allowed us to build a following of that. We have over several thousand people, about 20,000 on all of our platforms right now. It allowed us to build relationships with organizations where we could come in and sell those books for them. So 10 years of us building, of us serving, of us going out and doing events for free and packing up our daughter and driving miles, driving to Atlantic City, driving to Baltimore, driving to Jersey, just to serve, because this was bigger than us. Those authors had voices that the community needed to hear. There were not a lot of platforms for us to have those kind of exchanges with the community. And so God allowed all those 10 years to build, even though we were like, where's our bookstore? We want a bookstore, we want a bookstore. At some point, we had to get peace within ourselves and realize, okay, God, we keep talking about you got control and we're listening to you. Let us really step back and walk into that and breathe into that and believe in it, and we did. And when we opened up those doors on Black Friday this past year, all of those pieces, all of that serving, all of those publicists, all of those publishers, all of those community members were right there when the doors opened.
Oh,
so just think, right?
Goosebumps, chill bumps, tears in my eyes, because it's so true. Like, you got to give and give and give some more and serve and serve and serve some more. And it may never happen when you want it to in your timing, but it always happens, I believe, in divine timing. And you have to stay so committed to it and connected to the bigger vision that's going to transform other people's lives that you refuse to give up. And I love that you said that. I love that you shared the journey of the 10 years before you got to this brick and mortar, because I work with clients and they're like, yeah, it ain't happening quick enough. And I mean, they all discouraged. Like, stop quitting so quick. Stop quitting before your blessing even shows up. You ain't given a chance to show up.
Cheryl,
you've been doing this thing for, as my one of my trainers used to say when I used to complain about not losing weight, she's like, Cheryl, you've been doing this for like 37 seconds. Like, why you expecting these drastic results? And you've been doing this for 37 seconds. Some of you been doing it for 37 seconds, right? Figuratively. And you expect all of these amazing dynamic results. It's a process and it's a journey. And you got to be in it for the long haul. So I love that you've stuck with it. I love that you and your husband are teamed up together to do it. Now, do y'all ever get on each other's nerve?
Girl, last night.
You married, don't you? You married, ain't you?
Is he watching last night? No. It's relationships, but would I ever leave? No way. But I think we have a realistic sense of what a relationship is. And a relationship is not, we have a little bump in the road, now we're ready to leave. No, we're in this.
Say that.
We made a covenant with God. It's bigger than us. And so, we have arguments, and I think something in the bookstore should be done this way, and he'll think something else. And so we have to come to this space that we are in agreement. Again, the vision is bigger than us. We could sit here on the side bickering about little things, or we could make sure these doors open and that we're productive and that we're providing a great service for our community.
Absolutely. I love referencing Lamar Tyler and his wife, Ronnie Tyler, and ironically, Lamar and I used to work together in corporate America.
Wow.
That's how things come full circle. We worked for the same telecom communications company in Herndon, Virginia. I was a legal secretary in the law department, and he was an IT guy in the IT department. And now here we are, both walking in our unique gifts and literally transforming the world and impacting the world. But I love that because he always talks about the fact that he's this go-getter and risk taker, and he's like, let's do it, let's take. And his wife's like, wait, let's look at the numbers, let's count the costs. And so so when you're working together in business, a lot of times there can be a conflict, there can be a clashing of what should be done, but at the end of the day, you have to make it bigger than you
Yes.
and come to a conducive decision that allows the business to move forward
Yes.
so that people who are waiting on you get exactly what they need. Now, I see that you have this beautiful book next to you that I want you to hold up and show to
Yes,
everybody.
absolutely,
And
right
tell us
here.
why you have that book with you today.
I have this book with me today because I want so many people, young girls, older girls, men, women, to get a copy of it. It's called Today's History Makers, and I'm proud to be in it. And I'm in here with you too. I saw your beautiful face in here. But it's important. I know, right? Women's History Month. Look, hey.
Oh, that's beautiful. Let me see. Right. Yeah. Yes, honey.
So I
that
brought
shot
this,
is everything.
Right. Thank you. I brought this book that was curated and created by the amazing Tanya Barnett. Right.
Yes. Shout out. Can somebody tag Tanya Barnett on the
Please
show,
do.
please? I love it.
do.
Okay, you continue.
Yes, but I brought it because I wanted people to grab a copy of it. But also, if you have little people in your lives and you're looking for examples of positive women, there's so many things that are in the media right now that portray us in negative lights or that we're not enough.
Yes.
And this book is like, no,
The
we are
complete
enough,
opposite,
right?
yes.
All these people are in this book that share their stories, that share their experiences, and I'm excited to be part of this book. Yes. I'm excited to be among so many dynamic women.
Let me say it again. So the book again is Today's History Makers, and it's a 21st century African American female entrepreneurs. Somebody please tag Tanya Barnett. Are y'all listening over here on Facebook? Somebody please tag Miss Tanya Barnett. Let her know we're talking about this amazing project that she spearheaded. And Ramunda is here. What's your page? I should know my page number.
I should know my page,
I know, we
too.
got to learn our page number. So I'm page number 12, and let's see.
Looking fierce in there. I saw you.
You know. And then you are page 60.
I think it's alphabetical.
You're 60. So I'm 12. I'm going to show y'all my page too. Thank you for bringing the book.
Yes.
All right. So here I am on page 12. Yes, hunty. Yes. Y'all see that? Y'all see that?
Fabulous.
And then page 60 is this beautiful lady who's sitting to my left, Miss Ramunda, and there she is, you guys.
Yeah,
all right, isn't that amazing? And it's talking about how we're all just making our mark as African American female entrepreneurs, which is so powerful. Because, like you said, we have all of these, supposed to be role models in the media, and it's like that's not how I want to be represented.
Absolutely.
On TV, and just a lot of stuff.
I know, we're not gonna go there.
We ain't gonna go there. And it's amazing how people sometimes gravitate towards that negative. So I love that Tanya embarked upon this project.
Yeah.
I want to. Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, and I think it's important. Something that I'm very passionate about is women supporting women.
Yes.
And I bring this book because I want other women to see. It doesn't matter if we're here talking about me or you're getting shine for this or that. There's room to shine on somebody else, on what they're doing. And so I brought the book so people would see that, but it's about women supporting women. We can all rise.
Amen.
All of us can rise.
Like, you guys will hear me say it all the time. Don't compare, don't compete, and don't covet what another sister has. And if you know how hard it is to grind for what you want,
that's right,
and to grind to be able to succeed, then why would you ever try to down or diminish another sister in her gift? Because you know how hard it is. I know how hard it is. So I tell people all the time, my pom-poms are always up in the air for my sisters. And you might not know it, but I'm praying for you. I'm cheering for you. I'm like, look, from my computer, like, you better do it, Ramunda. Right? Yes, I'm snapping my finger. I'm celebrating. I'm telling other people about it. And we owe it to each other to celebrate and support each other in that way. Now, as we wrap up, I wanted to ask you, if someone is interested in getting their book in your store, how do they go about doing that? Or I know that you do live events. I want you to talk about some of the people that you've had recently who have done book signings there. And then how would someone from the community who perhaps is not of celebrity status, how would they have an event or a book signing there?
Absolutely. We're very committed to our local authors as well, but you can easily, some of the people we've had, let me go back because I'm excited. Some of the people we've recently had was DJ Beverly Bond, the creator of Black Girls Rock.
Yes!
We were able to do 2 events with her, one in our store and one in Baltimore. Marshawn Evans, Daniel's amazing coach,
very familiar,
speaker, entrepreneur. We've hosted her 2 different events as well, but we've worked with Misty Copeland, Congressman John Lewis, Iyanla Van Zant, so many people that Mark Lamont Hill, that God has allowed us to come into contact with. And I keep thinking this little bookstore, 2 people.
Right.
And now it's expanding, but just my husband and I in our 2-bedroom apartment.
And I love that.
And we just get to go out and help connect these readers to the writers who otherwise would not have that platform. And so speaking of local authors, we are very excited about the local authors that we host in our store already. But if you have a book and you want to have your book in our store, you can easily go to bit.ly/mbooks, like Mahogany Books. mbooks carry my book. And so if you go there, there's a submission process where people can go in and just put their information in, because there's so many people who, are DMing us and coming on Instagram and a lot of places. So we've created this quick process where they can go and submit their book, and we take a look at it each month. We go through and look at the authors whose books we want to be able to put on our shelves.
Absolutely.
Because it's important for us that the quality is there, that the editing is there.
Yeah.
Years ago online, we would get boxes of books shipped to us, and the covers would not look as professional.
Yeah.
There's typos. So for us, we're putting out a product, even though the author is going through the product, it's now in our hands. And for us to put out something of quality, it's important to us.
Oh,
so we
that's
look
so
at that.
good.
I know just about everybody can produce a book nowadays, and that's beautiful.
Better say it.
But the quality is something that's important to us, because those people who come in our stores are spending their hard-earned dollars.
Yes.
So we go through that process, but it's bit.ly/mbooks, carry my book. And if you're an author, we do host author events there. Every month we have several author events there. And that submission, you just go in and submit the information about the dates that you're available, and that's bit.ly/mbooks author submissions. So it's really simple, and we do that so we can have a good mix of local authors and authors that are not in the area, because you can delineate if you're in DC or not. So anyway, those are the 2 ways that people can go there and submit their information.
So I'm going to repeat those, and if somebody could type in, that would be great. So if you're interested in potentially having your book carried in the store and to be at least considered, you're going to go to bit.ly/mbooks, carry my book.
That's right.
Okay. And then if you are interested in potentially having a live event, book signing event at the store, you would go to bit.ly/mbooks author submission or submissions? Submissions with an S on the end. Now, does a person have to have the book being carried in the store to have a live event there?
No, they do not. That's a good question. I worked at another big box retailer, and that was required when I worked there. But no, a lot of times we can set up where the author can bring those books with them, and we do an agreement with them at that point.
Fantastic.
So we want to make our bookstore accessible to not only the authors, but also the community members. It's important that we open up the store right where we are. So that whether you have access to the internet or not, a lot of us take that for granted. But when we looked at different studies and research, a lot of people in that community where we are in DC don't even have access to the internet.
I know. So they have to either get to the library, if they can get to the library, and oftentimes they can't even get to the library, so they don't. You're right. Yeah. And I think that's what makes it so powerful, is that you're truly giving back in such a big way to the community. I teach my kids all the time. I have a 10-year-old son, 11-year-old son, and a 14-year-old daughter. My daughter just turned 14, so our girls are close in age. And I'm always saying, look, if you really, really want to succeed, read a book.
Absolutely.
Read some books.
Absolutely.
And we're in such a time frame where a lot of the focus is on video games. And I'm not going to lie, my kids love video games. Right. But sometimes I just make them turn everything off, and we just go to, this is where we've been going to Barnes & Noble, but we about to be coming to Mahogany Books. Come on now. We're going to come down, and we're going to sit and we're going to read some books, because we need to encourage that of our children and our community. So it's been such an amazing joy and privilege to have you here. I can't tell you how honored I am that you said yes to come and sit with me today. And I'm in awe of how you and your husband are serving the community. I love people like you. You have to be wired a certain way to do something that's just so community driven. It's not about you. It's not about how many dollars, that's a part of being in business. But the core of it, we can all feel and hear that the core of it is your love of wanting to help others. So keep being amazing. And I'm coming to the store. I got to do something to the store. I got to visit the store. I got to do something there.
I know.
I got to
connect. Come on.
You're right. I got to come and do my piece to support as well. So, guys, make sure that you check it out. Thank you so much, Karanda, for posting that link in the group. And again, we have been talking with Ramunda Lark-Young of Mahogany Books. Make sure, is there a website they can go to check out?
Absolutely. Our website is still just growing, and people are still ordering from all over the nation, but they can go to mahoganybooks.com, and we're at Mahogany Books on all of our social media platforms as well.
Beautiful. So mahoganybooks.com, and connect and follow them on social media at Mahogany Books. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with our very next amazing guest, Miss April Richardson.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over.
All right, we are back. Welcome back. Wasn't that conversation just amazing with Ramunda? She's so powerful. Mahogany Books. You guys make sure that you check it out. Make sure that you follow them, stalk them all across social media, but more importantly, go and support, right? So buy some books online, or if you're here local, go to the store, or whatever you need to do. We need to support especially African-American owned businesses. Before we continue, I have to give a huge shout out to our partners who help us to make this show possible. Our platinum sponsors and partners, Cherie M. Good, who is the founder of Total Harmony Enterprises. She actually is hosting her 8th annual Recharge Health, Wellness, and Fitness Expo in a couple weeks, April 14th, which is a Saturday from 10 to 3, and it's going to be in Pikesville, Maryland. Now, this sister has been doing this event for 8 years at no cost to the community. Talk about community servant, right? And the whole family can come out, and she does exercise demonstrations, and chefs come out and they do these samples of healthy food, and you can come and get educated on improving your health and your wellness. You can get your blood pressure checked. She has the, what does she always call it? The Winnebago. I was like, why you can't just call it a bus? It's just it's a big old bus. But the Winnebago for the dentistry comes out, and kids can get their free dental screenings. I mean, it's amazing. So you don't want to miss that. You can register by going to rechargenow2018.eventbrite.com. Again, that's April 14th from 10 to 3 in Pikesville, Maryland. And then our other platinum partner, Ladrine Peterson. Her energy is just off the chain. We love her. She is all about turning dreamers into doers. It's not enough just to talk about it. You have got to execute so that you can manifest the thing that you know you're born to do in the world. She's been hosting a series of youth vision board parties, which have just been phenomenal. So we were there, I believe, last week. You know, sometimes my dates and my weeks just start running together. But we were there about a week ago, and my 14-year-old daughter was actually the keynote speaker. and made me proud, made all of us proud. I'm like, girl, you must get it from your mama. And literally it's for kids who are between the ages of about 10 to 14. She also had a young lady there who was a makeup artist, and the young lady is only 16. I mean, she's slaying faces. Amazing. Making big money already at 16. So the next Speak Life Youth Vision Board Party is March 31st in Virginia. And you can go to, y'all, now y'all bear with me because y'all know I jack this up like every week. Speak Life, VBPPY. Okay. Speak Life, VBP. Youth Edition.eventbrite.com. I always do the whole thing together, but it's like the youth part that always messes me up. All right, I'm gonna get it together. But thank you so much for being one of our platinum partners, Ladrine. And you can also check her out and the other things that she's doing on her website at do-it-delivers.com. And last but not least, our gold partners, Miss Amina McWhirter, who is going to be with us in the studio today. She is the founder of the 501c3 nonprofit organization called Love by the Handles. And they have a mission of providing gifts of love and financial support for individuals who are in transition. A lot of the women that she works with are coming out of domestic violence situations, and I'm telling you, her work is phenomenal. I tell her all the time, you have to do that work because I couldn't do it. Like, it's so, for me, emotionally taxing. Yeah, it's tough. But she has it. You know, so you know you have the it factor for whatever it is that you are, the space that you're serving in. And you got to know that and acknowledge it and just walk in that thing. She's actually having her first benefit gala, celebrating 5 years that she's been doing this work. And that's going to be on Thursday, April 5th. And you can go to lovebythehandles.org to get more information on that and get your tickets. Don't just look at it, like click buy. Even if you can't attend, buy a ticket for somebody else, right? That's how we support each other. And then last but not least, Miss Robin Rogers of Robin Rogers Empowers. She's a lifestyle and image expert who helps women to develop greater self-confidence and reflect that confidence through inner and outer image. And so she is having her Whole Woman Symposium on September 8th from 10 to 5 right here in the Maryland area. You can go to the www.2018.eventbrite.com. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for partnering with us. We could not do this show without you. And now, drum roll. I got to get some sound effects up in here. All right. Our next guest, this beautiful sister. I don't even remember how we connected. Maybe through social media.
Don't remember.
Social media is so powerful, but we connected, and I loved her energy. I loved her spirit, and I love her drive more than anything. You know what? I think I heard you speak at an event. That's what it was. I was at an event, and I heard you speak, and you gave out samples of the yummy DC sweet potato cake. Lord have mercy. Lord, pray for a sister. You know I'm on this diet now, right?
Me too.
Pray for a sister, right? So April Richardson is her name. She's a mother. She's an attorney. She's an entrepreneur. She operates a boutique law firm called the Private Practice Law Group, which is a law firm that works specifically with businesses and individuals, providing consulting, legal support, marketing, and creative business strategies. And she's the president of Food Opportunity LLC, doing business as the DC Sweet Potato Cake, honey. If you don't know, you better look it up, Google it, go get you a slice, whatever you need to do. You need to taste this. In less than a year of owning the company, she and her team turned a struggling bakery into one of the fastest growing commercial bakeries in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. She's attracted national contracts, including Starbucks. Hello, come on, y'all better tag somebody and tell them they need to be on this session right here. Walmart, Safeway, Nordstrom, Wegmans, FedEx, and she has appeared in the Washington Post, Fox 5, BET Centric, Forbes Magazine. Take a break like I had to do with the other guests, right? WJLA, and has debuted on QVC, selling over 1,400 cakes, y'all, in 8 minutes. You a bad mama jamma. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
so
for
good
having
to
us.
see you. Thank you for pushing through. I know sometimes, life
how it
shows
goes.
up, but you're here.
That's right.
So talk to us about how you turned this
goodness.
struggling bakery around. Like, what was it that was so special about April Richardson where you were able to do it, but
That's
maybe nobody else could do it?
Now, if you ask me, it's just because it's what you're supposed to do. If you ask my mom, it's because I'm always in somebody else's business. That's the truth.
I love it.
You know, it's interesting. I get asked that question often, and I had to go back to trying to understand who am I as a person, and why is it that I'm always gravitating towards something that's not so pretty. And I think it kind of goes to my upbringing. I wasn't always that pretty girl. but I always was that girl that was kind of pretty inside, and I saw my own beauty. So I had a knack for looking at things that were not necessarily considered pretty on the surface, but had so much potential.
So
Does that
deep.
make sense?
Why you got to come up in here being
Does that
all
make
deep?
sense?
I'm not trying to cry. I didn't bring no tissue.
You know, I couldn't really understand it, and I remember being in kindergarten, and I remember I'm always the bossy one in class, and I'm always sticking up for the kids. And I remember the day that my mom shut that down, I got a spanking in class because the teacher told my mother that I was mouth almighty, tongue everlasting, and that wasn't true. The teacher just didn't listen. And I remember when my mom spanked me in front of the class, I decided, you know how kids, we cry real hard just to make it stop? Yeah. So I gave extra. It didn't hurt. But there was this teacher named Miss Ray that came downstairs. She was a first grade teacher that came downstairs to the kindergarten classroom. Now, to understand this, my mom had me when she was 16. So the odds, according to some people, were stacked against us. So she was trying her best to try and raise this thing, this little skinny girl with a long face and a big mouth, which you can tell even 40 years it hadn't changed too much. And the lady came downstairs and she had a long finger. That's what I remembered about her. And she pointed her finger at my mom. She said, "Don't you hit her again." And my mom's looking at her like, who's she talking to? But at the same time, my mom had to have a level of respect for her because she was an elder. And she said, "Bring her little talking self up to my classroom." And I was like, "Not again, I'm gonna get it again."
Right.
And the teacher, Miss Ray, opened up a book and she said, "Read, skinny thing." And I was reading, and tears are flowing through my eyes because I know I'm going to get a spanking after this. And the teacher looked at my mom and said, "There's nothing wrong with her. It's something wrong with the teacher because she doesn't see this girl's potential. That's a third grade book." And my mom said, "So?" Like she always reads. And it was there that teacher helped my mother see that there was nothing wrong with me. There was something wrong with the way that the teacher was managing me. Because the teacher had this way of favoring the little girls with the little long pigtails and the little cute eyes, but the little funny looking ones with the little scraggly hair, I keep it till this day. Like me, we weren't favored. So at an early age, I learned that I had to protect the little funny looking kids. So I had to look beyond myself, and I've always been attracted to things that are just not perfect. And I've taken that into my practice. I've taken that into my study in law. I went to law school not because I love the law, it's because I figured that law touches everything. And because I'm artsy and eclectic, I knew that every day I wake up thinking that I can do something different. So if law touches everything, law offered a perfect opportunity for me to put my little nosy hands in everything.
I love it.
So
I love it. You said so many powerful things in that story. And I think my question follow up to that is, okay, so if you're the person who loves seeing things that don't look beautiful and you're like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to make it something. I'm gonna fix it. How do you then keep that fire in your belly for it once it becomes beautiful?
It's easy. And people who've heard me speak, this resonates with them. I always remind myself and other people that I never had to look down the barrel of a water hose. I never had to choose which water fountain I had to drink from. I don't know what it's like to be a slave. That has already been done. So for me to get my little raggedy butt up every day and do something, it would be disrespectful to history if I didn't, because it's already been done. The hard work has already been done. So what you and I do, they already did the hard stuff. Us not having enough, viewers or people buying.
Girl,
it's just
don't
like,
get it started. Don't get it started, yes.
So I do my part because the work was already laid for me. So it's easy. Even days when they're very difficult. This morning I called you, I said, I have a migraine. Found myself on the side of the road with a headache. And I said, wow, you have a headache. And yet there are still people who are struggling, and yet they have to continue to move despite their circumstances. So I use that every day. I just know that I am completely blessed, and all the things that have happened to me, my businesses, my clients' businesses that haven't been so pretty, I say, but everybody else got through it. Why can't we?
Absolutely. And it speaks volumes to the fact that, again, and you guys hear me say this every week that we're here, that all of us have a unique fingerprint that no one else can duplicate, and that someone will miss out on their blessing. Somebody will miss out on where they're supposed to move and how they're supposed to shift or pivot if you don't show up. And that's what gets me out of the bed and moving even when I don't. I text my husband. My husband works at night. And so he comes home and he gets off at like 7 in the morning. and he always calls me or he'll text me when he's, leaving work. Hey, I'm out of this piece, right? So I text him back. I was like,
I'm tired.
I just want to lay here till 10 o'clock this morning. Like, I don't want to get up and get the kids ready and pack lunches and sometimes I don't want to. And then as Ramunda so eloquently stated, I make it bigger than me.
That's right.
And when you make it bigger than you, then you take yourself out of the equation and you get that butt to work because people are waiting.
But that's a good point. But there's also a point where it's okay to pull the covers over top of your head, because I do recognize that I'm not Superwoman.
Yes.
Because I used to think that I could save anybody and everybody, but I couldn't, because at one point I had to look to the right and look to the left and say, well, if I'm saving everybody, who's saving me?
Yeah.
And
I do think there's an absolute time and place to give yourself grace.
Yes.
Ramunda, we were talking about this. Give yourself grace.
I say pull the covers over top of your head.
Yeah. And I literally, when I can't do anymore, I'm okay with saying I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I also have specific days that are set aside where it's about Cheryl, and it's my rest day and my recoup day, because I serve and I serve well, baby. And I do it when I'm exhausted, and I do it when I'm tired and I don't feel like it, but I do it anyway. So for me, there's a specific day of the week where it's like, don't ask me to do nothing. Don't ask me to go nowhere.
And I'm okay with saying
and I have no guilt. There's no guilt about it, because you do have to know when you've hit that capacity.
Yeah.
And if you're running for everybody else and you're never in the equation, that's why this year you guys see me at the gym every morning. I specifically have put myself on my own calendar. Come on now, because you know what? The emails are still going to be there.
They will.
People still going to be asking me, well, why you ain't send me what you were supposed to? Ramunda, we talk about that grace.
Yeah.
And that stuff is always going to be there. So you're right. We have to be the priority at some point. And as you say, pull the covers up or give yourself grace or whatever looks good for you.
And that's important, because sometimes we don't realize that we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah.
And the enemy is that we are not valuing ourselves. You had asked a question like, why take this company? I only work with people or organizations whose hands are raised, right? And when I say their hands are raised, that means they're saying, pick me, I'm open, right? It doesn't mean that it makes dealing with them any easier, but they're saying, take me because I'm open and I'm ready. People whose hands are down, it's not a physical thing that their hands are down, but you can tell that their hands are not raised because they have every excuse in the world. And when I come to a company or to an individual, I'm very direct. It's not always pretty. The tears, I could care less, because tears are powerful. So it means to me that if you cry when I'm talking to you, that means that you are ready, that you are releasing. So when Delectable Cakery came to me, they had their hands up. They didn't know that they had their hands up. And the way that they showed it to me was that they tried everything that they could do within their circumstance to try and turn themselves around, and they just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I was a lawyer forever, and then I sat back and I said, everything I'm telling y'all for free, y'all not doing. It wasn't because they didn't want to, it's because they didn't know how to. And it's a good lesson for lots of companies, because everybody has ideas and everybody knows the best way that they can implement their idea, but sometimes people don't know how. It's the roadmap. It's the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, because I find that too many people are talked to instead of talked with. So we got to take people for what it is that they bring to the table. And sometimes you can only stretch them but so far. That's about as far as they can go. So then we have to wrap ourselves around them to help them in the areas in which they kind of lack. So that's how.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And it was hard.
Yeah,
it was hard because my business partner, who was amazing, who had 100% trust in me, and no matter what I asked for, he did. But it was also hard for him because I asked him to do some almost impossible things. And there was a time when he was just like, you want me to do what? And I said, remember what I said when I took over this company? I said, no matter what I ask you to do, the answer should be yes, because I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I don't think you're not capable of doing.
Yeah. So how do you develop that level of trust with people as you're going in and you're saying, hey, your hand is up, I'm here to support you? How do you establish that level of trust?
That's a good question. It starts with trusting your own self. I find that through this work, it's more therapeutic for people because they really don't understand that they are their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
They spend so much time trying to prove to the world that I am worthy, that I am capable, that I am successful, when they really don't believe it, because you can tell that they don't believe it in the way that they maneuver and the way that they talk around the issues and the way that they try and cover up and be real pretty. Lashes are popping, but inside you really don't believe that you are capable. And the reason that you don't believe that you're capable is because you just don't know. But because we wear titles, I'm president and CEO of this company, we think that that title entitles us to be all-knowing, when in fact, any smart person in leadership should know that you find people who are smarter than you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, you should always be putting yourself, I believe intentionally putting yourself in the spaces where people are more brilliant than you, and that can be very uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
Because you're like, okay, I don't even know what they're saying. I don't even know what this language is right here. I mean, I get to go into spaces, I intentionally put myself into spaces with people who are already have amassed, they're at their $6 million, $7 million, $10 million mark, and I'm like this.
But even those companies, I even work with those companies. And even those companies, those presidents of those companies, they have the same issues that my $50,000 companies have. It's just that they can't say it out loud, because if they say it out loud, then it would have strong implications for their board of directors, for their shareholders. They have the same issues that keep them up at
that
night.
speaks to your personal power. That's why my organization is Personal Power Enterprises, because I believe we have to claim personal power to know I belong in the room anyway. It doesn't matter what I don't know. I leverage what I do know. I leverage how hard I work to be in this space, and I never let anybody diminish what I bring into the table. And I'm going to sit at the table. I'm not sitting over there on the side. I'm going to sit at the table, because I understand that no matter how smart and brilliant you are, no matter how successful you are, there's something of value that I bring, and then there's something I can learn from you. And I'm open to both. And I think when we do that as business owners, we really set ourselves up for greater success, instead of, as you mentioned, always pretending, wearing the mask that we know it all, that we got all the answers. So we see you as this bold, courageous woman who's determined, who's direct and all that. But what are the pieces of you that you've had to work on to move out of your own way? Because all of us have something that we're always working on.
It's listening. Listening.
Yeah.
I had to figure out, how can I be better? How can I better serve my clients? How can I better serve myself? How can I better serve my son, who's 15 years old? And it boiled down to listening. I hear you, but did I really listen to what they were saying? And it was a lesson that my son gave me, really. I remember one day, maybe last year, I was so irritated because he makes us late every day. Every day, it's something. I'm like, dude, if I'm late for work and the threat didn't work, and taking away the stuff didn't work, so I was like, why is his room looking like this all the time? Why does it smell like Cheetos and Doritos in his room? And then one day,
yes, I have two sons too.
And then one day I woke up and I realized every day I'm waking up past the snooze button. I'm stepping over top of my underwear and drawers from last night. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to wear the next day. And I said, wait a minute. Now, if I really listen to him, and not listen because he said it out of his mouth, but listen with my eyes, and he's really mimicking me. So I had to stop being irritated with him, and I had to address the issue with myself. But even when I'm working through clients, I choose clients. I only choose 7 to 10 per year because it's a very close kind of relationship. I choose people who struggle in areas where I'm weak. I used to have this sticky on my, beside my mirror that said, do not give advice in areas where you are weak. Because you know how we can give some advice
But
now.
It's just like speaking. I'm going to pause you there for 1 second. It's just like speaking. Every speaking client I have, I say, do not speak on something that you've never done, never accomplished, have no experience in, because it is going to be so inauthentic.
It is. But this was important because I said, don't give advice in areas where you are weak, right? And then because people come to you for everything because they think we got all the answers, which we don't. And I'm just giving advice. Oh, you need to be on time. To my son, oh, you need to clean your room. And then I said, shut up, April. You need to be on time. You need to clean your room.
I love it. Yeah.
And not that it worked, but at least I got a chance to acknowledge that it's not him, it's me. But I took that same advice I remember when I signed on a new client, I took that same advice into this meeting. Do not give advice in areas where you're weak. And then as I'm working through her company, I realized I can give advice in areas where I'm weak because now I'm channeling. Because everything that I say to my clients, then I mirror and go back at night and say, I said this to them. Did I do this in my own company? So it served as a checklist. So I found a way to take my weakness and turn it into something that was greater. So now when I listen, it's listening with intent. It's not listening just for their issues. It's also listening for me.
Yeah.
Because you can listen to people all day long, but listen to see how your life kind of fits into what they're saying.
Yeah, that's such a self-awareness. Like that takes a lot of people a long time to get to that place, but it's doable. And I think when you're willing to be open to it, and that's kind of the word of the day, being open and grace, right? But being open to shifting and pivoting and realizing that there's something about you that can be better, that can grow, being open and being aware and embracing that. So then as we kind of start to wrap up, who have been some of the people that have been your mentors or coaches or people that you kind of looked at their path and aspired to be, perhaps similar, follow a similar path?
My first grade teacher, the one who rescued me, Miss Ray. Miss Ray kept me and my best friend Damon under her wing until we went to college. As a result, by the time I was in 5th grade, I was hosting a radio show in Baltimore City. You ask who are some of my heroes, it's the everyday people that walk, no one in particular. And the reason that I resonate with everyday people is because they have these silent stories, but yet somehow they're still moving their life forward. I find power in that. I don't think that everybody has to have their name in lights for me to say, oh, this is who I want to be. It's that mom, who is dealing with breast cancer. It's that dad, that's learning to separate himself from his issues that have held his family back. It's those people, everyday people, who say hi at you at 7-Eleven and who may magically buy you a cup of coffee when you know secretly that they're struggling. It's that homeless guy on the corner who every morning he is there consistently, no matter what the weather is, and he's always smiling. He's never angry and he's never yelling at anyone. He's just saying, have a great day, despite the thousands of people that pass him and turn away from him.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I find power in those.
I love that. And I think every one of us, and thank you guys for being here with us on Facebook Live. Thanks for those of you who are dialed in through voxwave.com. And so that was really important, because I do think all of us should have someone that we're looking to and drawing inspiration from, right? So you're in your space, you're in your world, you're in your zone, but who is it that you can look to when you are having those moments? Because life will gut punch you, right? It doesn't matter how amazing you're doing, how successful your business is, how many likes or followers you have, life will gut punch you. At sometimes the least expected times, and you're like, whoa, where did that come? I didn't even see that coming. And so I think it's important that you can see yourself in the everyday people who are forging ahead and being determined. And I do like to also have those people who are way, way, way further than me, who also inspire me, because it reminds me that it's possible. I'm able to look at what they've accomplished. One of the people who has inspired me so much is Doreen Rainey, who used to do the Get Radical conference here in the local DMV region. She did it for about 6 years. Now she's working as the VP of operations for the Steve Harvey Show. I'm like, it was a lot of times looking at what she was accomplishing that gave me the internal belief that if she can do it, maybe I can. And then I look at my coach now, Lisa Nichols, and I look at her traveling all over the world. And she was just in Barcelona last week. And then the week before that, she was like in Taiwan. And I'm like, you know what? If she can be a girl from the hood and she was on government assistance, I could do the same thing. And it just gets me so fired up to see how they're impacting the world in such a big way when they did start just like me, an everyday average mom, woman who just wanted more and wanted to create her fingerprint. So I think there is so much power in the everyday average and in the people who are soaring well beyond where you are. So I thank you for being with us. It's always a joy. I mean, I could listen and listen to you literally for hours, because you're so deep, you're just it's so beautiful. And I love the way that you look at life, and I love the way that you analyze things and kind of really give it deeper thought. So if people want to connect with you, and if they want some of that sweet potato cake,
I know, right?
How do they connect with you? How do they get a taste of the cake? Where can they go to purchase and support?
Yeah, so thanks for that.
Absolutely.
But I will tell you, our customers are amazing. We have some strong-willed customers, and if they are missing a cake, they will call us up and tell us that we better have it right now.
I know that's right.
So the customers can go right to our website, www.dc sweetpotatocake.com. You can send us an email. You
Oh,
can send
is it
something.
Demond?
Is that Demond?
Yeah, he is on it. He's like dcsweetpotatocake.com.
That is my director of operations.
Okay.
He should be working.
He is working.
You know.
He's putting it in the feed. Yeah, he's making sure people have that website.
I'm coming to watch.
She coming for you.
dcsweetpotatocake.com. Make sure that you guys at least support us. We're nothing unless customers prove with their dollars that they want to see us there. It's not just saying, oh, I know that company. It's also action and buying, action and watching.
Yeah.
So we ask people to be active about how they spend their dollars. Make sure you keep it in our community.
I love it.
Right.
Love you.
Thank you.
Keep doing amazing work.
Me.
I'll be watching you and be like, okay, we'll be like her one day.
Now
right?
I gotta get back to work.
All right.
Thank
so
you.
again, that was April Richardson, amazing mother, attorney, entrepreneur, just showing up so great in the world, impacting lives, transforming our perspective on how we look at things. You want to make sure you check her out on the web and connect with her all across social media. We're going to take a break and we're going to be back with our final two guests.
You're so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You look beautiful. I see you.
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey, yeah.
All right, so we are back, and that song that you keep hearing playing over and over again throughout the show is our theme song, and that was written, it was produced, it was performed by Tammy Turner. She's a songstress, she's an entrepreneur, she has a one-woman show that she performs. She's amazing, so you want to Google her or look her up on Facebook, social media, Tammy Turner. Thank you so much for allowing us to utilize that song as our theme song for this show, because playtime is over. Absolutely. And we've got to get out into the marketplace and share our gifts and share our unique perspective and our fingerprint so that we're creating a legacy That's what she says in the song, creating my legacy for the whole world to see, and doing it without apologies and without regrets, because life is short. And that sounds cliche-ish, but it's short. And so every day you got to wake up with a determination in your heart and your spirit and your soul that somebody is going to be touched by my gift today, right? So every day, somebody going to hear my voice. Like, whether they want to hear it or not, I got to use the gifts that have been given to me in a way that contributes to my legacy. So now we have our final two guests who are in the studio. They're both so very special to me. They've been clients. They've become sister friends. I'm watching them soar in their gifts and impacting the world. And so to my left here is none other than the Amina McWhirter. And Amina is an inspirational speaker. She's known as the Goal Strategist. She's an accomplished author of the book Shush No More, Be Free and Live Life. She's a radio talk show host on Radio 1 of the Shush No More show, and founder of Love by the Handles, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. She has added a unique twist to the concept of Love by the Handles. All donations that are presented for the people that she's serving must be presented to the recipients in a bag with a handle attached with an uplifting message of hope and urgent items. Her mission is to empower and inspire people, specifically women, children, and teens, to greatness regardless of their current situation. So welcome to the show. You look beautiful, darling. Beautiful. Darling. I talk about, first of all, Amina is one of our goal partners of the show. So thank you for your support and your help so that we can actually execute this show. But I always, every time I say, and people probably get sick of me, but oh well, you get over it. Every show I always say, how amazing your work is. And I got to witness it firsthand at an event that we had last year. I just thought it was a little awards event. That's, all of us we're just crafted differently, right? And I was just like, okay, I love honoring people and recognizing people and letting them know that they're special. So I connected and partnered with Love by the Handles, and we decided to do this honor awards event. And we had women from her organization who were in transition to come and be the honorees. And I just thought it was an honor. We're going to serve dinner. We're going to have dinner. We're going to give them their award. We're going to go home. Hunty, it was so much more than that. And, it speaks volumes to the fact that everybody has a story. And when you sit a woman down and you really get to know her and hear her story, like, there's no way you can't be transformed, because women don't wear what they've been through on their face. Like, we cover it up, we look pretty, we smile, we do what we have to do, but you sit her down and listen to her story, and the women who shared their story at that evening, I was blown away. It was, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the level of release that happened. I didn't expect the level of just transparency about what some of them had been through. And I heard one by one, I heard them talk about how much of an impact you've made on their life and through their transition. And I just sat back and I was like, wow, like that's real power, is not making it about you, but making it where people can just sit and every person one by one is like, oh, if it wasn't for Amina, I wouldn't have made it through. Or, oh, Amina has sat on the phone with me for hours when I was going through my most desperate moment, and I don't know what I would have done if I couldn't have called her. Like, that thing touched my heart. Well, I'm still talking about it almost a year and a half later. Like, I am just so impressed. So I'm thankful to have you here. I got to shout out our other guest who's in the studio, Donnelly Rector, who also was a part of that event, and she sponsored her massage services for all the ladies, seated massages, and then Mahogany. We love her, Mahogany Williams Moss, who sponsored makeup services. So we made the women feel beautiful, look beautiful, and then we had an amazing dinner and an amazing award program, and just I believe, which was a healing that happened in that room. So talk to us about how you got started in this work and what drew you to this work. That was a long introduction, but I just couldn't help it because I just love what you do. I just respect it so much.
Thank you so much. And one thing I want to add is about you, and of course, even with this show, Impacting the World, we had people that was out of the state that sent many books.
That's right.
Bracelets, a lot of
T-shirts.
Yeah, so they believed in what we were doing even that night, and they didn't even know the ladies.
Absolutely.
So that was very impactful. But one of the reasons why I really started this show, and I don't even know if I really have told you this before, is I really started it for homeless individuals. Being raised in church and a particular ministry that I was in at that time, we didn't really focus on homeless individuals. And in the Word of God, it talks about that we are to feed and to clothe the poor, the ones that are in need.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So I wanted to start the organization. I was at that time in a marriage that was not loving me and giving to me as I needed to be, even as the Word of God says that the husband's supposed to love his wife as Christ loves the church. And, you know, with certain things that I wasn't experiencing during that time. And I didn't realize that I was in a non-physical abusive relationship because a lot of people do not talk about that. Right. Now, we're getting to talk about that more.
Yeah.
But 15 years ago, even 9 years ago when I was in it, we wasn't talking about like how we should. Yeah. And so for the ones that are watching the show today, you know, non-physical is just what it is. Emotional, mental, sexual, financial, spiritual, you know, things that are not physically seen. And so, you know, once I was going through counseling and things like that, I realized that that's what I was in.
Yeah.
But it started with just my heart for homeless individuals. Then from there, realizing, you know what? I'm a victim. I didn't even know that I should have been labeled, you know, that way because, again, it wasn't physical scars.
Right.
So then we moved into the domestic violence piece. And then with me, and one of many reasons why I love you so much, but you know, just our story a little bit similar, growing up in the hood. You
right.
know, I'm from D.C., you know, she's from Baltimore. Both of us may not have gone to college. You know, I have some college, but in comparison to what people may label as your success, no, I don't have that. But I am a teenage mom. And I am proud to say that
we love her daughter who was here on the show earlier this year, Miss Jocelyn, who came in and did that beautiful inspirational dance that none of us will ever forget. So yeah.
Thank you. I'm a teenage mom. You know, I had my daughter at 18. I was in the 12th grade. Matter of fact, be more transparent, I got pregnant at 17, and I was going into the 12th grade. Right. But because we were in a very religious home and Christian beliefs, it was kind of, well, you need to get married. Right. So I got married at 17. And with those three components, homelessness, domestic violence, and at-risk youth, is how Love by the Handle started. And the one thing that, you know, I started the organization before we met, but the one thing that was told to me was, you know, what's going to set you apart? You just reiterated it when I became, you know, one of your clients, but it was like, what's going to set you apart? And what I really thought about, I love handbags. And my feet not that good, so I can't say I love shoes, but I love handbags. So I'm like, I love handbags. And that's what I'm going to market for my organization, is that anything that we give, it will be with a bag or with a handle. Then I started to think, where do people normally give to individuals?
This is the part I always share right here.
They give people, think about it, when you're going to give to Salvation Army, Goodwill, you put all your stuff in a trash bag.
Yep.
Rarely do you want to find something nice to present. It's going in a trash bag. And I am a very purpose-driven individual. Some may think I'm a little anal with it, but I'm very purpose-driven. So everything about me is for a reason. And even when it comes to the trash bag or anything that we give our recipients must have a handle, because at the end of the day, I need them to know you're royal. I need them to know you're special. I need them to know that whatever your situation is, you will not stay in it. This too shall pass.
And that's just so powerful. Because a lot of times people are kind of throwing out their trash, if you will, and putting it in a trash bag. But what they say, you know, your trash becomes somebody else's treasure, especially when they're going through a transition period. And I'm very familiar with that because I've mentioned this on the show before, but even as a young child growing up, my father suffered from alcoholism, and there would be abuse, physical abuse and verbal abuse in my household. And there were times when my mother would wake us up at 2 a.m. and we're running out of the house to go to the House of Ruth, a protective shelter for women, battered women and their children. And you're right, typically people are just throwing stuff in a trash bag and donating it. So people are going through real life situations that are traumatic. They're transitioning. Some of them are trying to get out of those domestic violence situations. And I love that you want them to feel like royalty, not like trash. Like, no, don't give it to us in no trash bag. So that just resonates with me so much. And I love repeating that. I'm like, let me tell you why she calls it love by the handles. Like, and I think that speaks also volumes to why it's important that you know why you do what you do.
Absolutely.
Why did you name your company what you named it? What's the intention behind it? What do you want people to think about when they hear the name or when they see the logo? Like, all that stuff is not just because you want a cute logo. It should be a real meaning and mission behind it. So I love your work. Jocelyn is shouting you out, and she's saying, I love you too. We love you, girl. You're amazing. Your mom is amazing. So talk about some of the challenges that you faced in doing this work, because I imagine it's, number one, I know it's a taxing work on you emotionally. It can be when so many people are pulling on you, but also talk about some of the other challenges that you faced in perhaps trying to get funding or trying to get people to understand the vision and support the vision. Talk about some of those things and how you've kind of navigated those challenges.
The first thing that I had to realize, honestly, was that this is my purpose and my calling. I know that going through our coaching experiences, even with you, you had to let me also know what really, outside of what you went through, the negative, why did you really start this? That's where we together came up with the goal strategies. I'll never forget, I called you, I got it. Right. You was like, that's hot.
It's a beautiful thing when you figure out, when you get that clarity, man, there's nothing like it.
Because you asked, you know, what's deeper?
Yeah.
And it was because I did not have a community and a positive environment.
When you went through what you were going through, right?
To be able to help and support me fulfill my goals and dreams.
Yes.
So that's really what I want to do. And in that is through homelessness, through domestic violence, through our youth. And I had to also realize, me moving out of sales and marketing, having that professional experience for 25 plus years, and now in social services, only the last 2 years, and I see our homeless individuals. I see the domestic violence. I'm like, wow, this is my work. Because this is what I'm doing now full-time and my full-time organization. And so that's one of the greatest challenges in this particular work, is staying grounded and focused. That one, some people may not be as a victim as they may say that they are, because they know they get other support. So if I say that I'm a domestic violence, but I know that Prince George's County has publicly said it's $1.2 million of a grant, so now I'm a domestic violence victim. No, you may just be homeless, but are you really a domestic violence victim?
Wow.
Okay, and so those are
people who are taken advantage of kind of the systems,
Absolutely. So it's so many other components in what I do, that I have to stay grounded. I have to have my support system to be like, okay, this is a rough one today, because now I have to not just be in tune and show that empathy, but I truly have to be in tune with God to know, okay, am I getting played here? Or do I have to ask the other questions? Because we know that 1 out of 4 women are abused and 1 out of 7 men are. However, women, we know that women may be the higher percentage, 90%, let's just say, that may be the abusees. But we do have some women and parents that are the abusers. So now I have to be able to deal with the root of these issues. So that's one aspect.
Right.
Then we deal with the funding, you know, because at the end of the day, if people are like, oh, you know, she's on the come up, you know, she's doing this, that's so nice, that's good, but they may not see me as bread for the city, as dressed for success, as goodwill. Believe you me, publicly on the Impact the World show, I will be in the same.
Amen. We speaking that and claiming it.
In the same name as those major nonprofit organizations. But when you're on the come up, and thankfully I'm celebrating 5 years, it's still like, well, is she really going to do what she said she's going to do with that money? Am I really going to get that tax write-off at the end of the year? So, you know, that's one component. And the biggest part about the funding piece is when you're looking for funders, they have to make sure, well, can you manage $10,000, $25,000, $100,000, $500? What other organizations have seen you, or what other organizations see you on that level that they even collaborate and partner with you? We even talked, because even tonight I'm doing my first nonprofit conference call in training, and talking about how do you start a nonprofit organization and the do's and don'ts with it. So there are, you know, to your question, it was full answer, I know, but it's so many different components in doing what you do. And then the reality is some people are just not educated to know that, yeah, even though it's a nonprofit, you can make, it is a business.
Right.
You do make money, because why do you look at all of these other nonprofit organizations that have a staff? Because they wrote a grant.
Exactly.
They wrote a grant, and their grant was awarded to have case managers, to have this person, to have interns, whatever.
So then let's pause there and talk about that. Let's talk about if someone donates to Love by the Handles, and they say, hey, I want to write a $500 check, or I want to write a $1,000 check that's out of my account. I just want to support what you're doing. Where do the funds go? How do they know where the funds go? Like give us some examples of what those funds would be used for in your business through the nonprofit.
So sometimes it depends on who's giving. They may even just say, hey, I just want to bless you. I just believe in you. And they may even say, I don't even want a tax write-off. And it's like, wow, okay. But then I may have to explain directly, this is going to the ladies at the Safe House. You know, I have women that are leaving the Safe House, but now they have their own apartment.
And so where does the money go to?
So we're going to them to maybe help them with establishing their transition, buying them groceries.
Okay, so groceries,
food,
what else?
Clothing.
Okay, clothing.
Transportation, because they still have to take their children back and forth.
Right.
I do monthly shelter feedings that are structured at a local women's shelter that range anywhere from 30 to 42 women. That alone, that meal, because I do a fresh menu, cooked meal. We're not giving them just whatever. They're getting their starch, their vegetables, their dessert, their everything. And that ranges anywhere from $100 to $175 to feed those women, because again, I want them to feel special.
Yeah, so and I asked that question because I think it's so important that people get an idea of what am I really donating to, because there's always people out here who are asking you to donate to their organization, their cause, their whatever. And I think when people know very clearly that, hey, your donation is going towards the monthly food service that we use to serve 42 women at a homeless shelter, and we do that twice a month, or it's being used for cell phone service for women who are going through a transition period, or they're escaping from leaving a safe house, or it's helping to fund towels and washcloths at their new apartment because they were finally able to transition out of the safe house or secure house and they were able to get their own apartment, or whatever it is, transportation. I just think it's so good for people to know that and have a real idea. Not that the person would want you to spell it out, but I think from the perspective of overarching, what is it that we use our funds for? I think that typically will lead people to wanting to donate more.
And the other piece to it is what I do full time at my job is I am a job developer. I'm a workforce, and I teach them about workforce development and help them find employment. So we even, if need be, will help them get an outfit for a new job because they need the financial stability. But in many cases, they're not even at that place yet because some of them may be still getting public assistance. They may be in other programs. So we're just helping them deal with the transition of life and where they are. And so that's really the biggest part. We're starting, and we had it last year, a program in an elementary school, and we're starting another program. So when we're doing these programs for that third initiative, which is our youth, then the money will go to that based upon their area of need.
Absolutely. Beautiful. I love it. Again, anybody who serves the community from such a heart space, we talked about Cherie Good and how she serves the community based on the health and wellness aspect. We talked to Ramunda Young today, who serves through the book project that she's doing in Mahogany Books. And now we have you here and how you serve the community from this heart space of helping people who are in transition and youth and homelessness. Like, it's just a powerful thing to take yourself out of the equation and to work, and you put in hours and you work. Like, it's just not, oh, I just have the title, it's a 501c3. But no, it is the work, and I witnessed the work firsthand. So I just celebrate you today, and I encourage you to keep pressing and keep going. Can you tell people how they can find out more about the organization? How can they donate? And then talk a little bit as we kind of wrap up about the gala and what they're going to experience.
So everything is very simple, lovebythehandles.com or org. lovebythehandles@gmail.com. Love by the handles.
Love by the handles.
And we're getting ready for, I changed the name a little bit to the benefit dinner because of the fact that we're celebrating 5 years. And we're in this 5th year, and it's been very incredible for me to say, wow, when I started in 2012, because I'm in this 5th year, technically it's September of last year to September of this year. And then I got the status in 2014. And it's just an amazing opportunity for me to be like, God, this is real. I really am now celebrating 5 years of having this organization, and this is just the beginning. And so this really is a testimony for me, and to also hold myself accountable to everyone that's going to be in that space on next week on Thursday, is because we're going somewhere. And I want all of these individuals, either if you're not going to be there but you want to support, that's fine, but everyone to see, I remember when that organization was, oh my gosh, look at it now. And we're impacting the world, you know, because our domestic violence here in the States is nothing compared to outside of this country. Women are getting beaten, children, just because they're a woman. You know, and so from that perspective, this is serious. And that's what I am. I'm just excited.
I love it. So to get a ticket for the gala, they can go to lovebythehandles.com or .org.
And then they go to the donate button. It's at the bottom. I'm right. The donate button. And the reason why I did it that way, some people said, Cheryl, you should have did the event right. You should have did. No, again, I'm purpose driven. I want everything to be done through the organization, so that if you choose that you want a tax write-off, or if you choose that you want to sponsor 5 people, then I'm still true to my business, that at the end of the year you will get a tax write-off.
So if they go to lovebythehandles.com or .org, they have to then click the donate button
at the very bottom,
and they're going to donate the cost of the ticket, which is $55. Okay, guys? So if somebody could type that in the feed, that would be great. Lovebythehandles.com or lovebythehandles.org. You're going to click on the donate button. The cost of the ticket is $55. It includes the actual dinner.
So it's going to be at Thurgood Marshall Center here in D.C.
Awesome.
So Thurgood Marshall, we know what he stood for, and especially when it comes to his work in our community. So from 6 to 7, they'll have a reception. Will be light hors d'oeuvres. We will have a silent auction, and they will have a tour of his home. And then we go into the main event from 7 to 9:30, which includes dinner. So I'm not going to.
All right. So she's feeding you real good. Go ahead and click that button. Go ahead and put up your $55. It's a good cause. And then I think the last question I want to ask is, outside of like financial donations, what are the donations that people can give, and in their purse or in the bag with the handle,
Thank
whatever.
you for asking that. As even today, I take bags, handbags, book bags, school supplies. I do school supplies all year long, and that's why we're doing these programs. Their time, their service, to volunteer. I do 12, so at least the whole 12 months out of the year, so at least 12 times we're at a shelter. So you can help cook. You don't have to serve, you can cook, and then we can pick up the food for that day. And then we do quarterly, just hit the streets. So we just hit the streets and feed homeless individuals. We don't have any set time or structure. It's just like, hey, who wants to come out with us? And I've ordered boxes of pizza before, and we just walk down the street, D Street, Northwest by Department of Labor, and just handing out pizza. Now, granted, some of them say, I don't want that. You got pepperoni? You got it. Now, but it's still a live act.
Yeah. So again, I think, financially you can support this organization. You can support it through your time, your energy, and your effort, whether you want to cook a meal for the homeless shelter, or you want to come and help and serve a meal, or if you want to hit the streets and, kind of be the boots on the ground and helping to serve homeless people who are in that homeless population. What about other things? School supplies, she mentioned. Yeah. What about things for some of the women who are in transition? Like, what are some of the needs that they have?
So what I typically do with that is I do that as needed, because I never want to be that organization that just has stuff but can't nobody use. So if it's a mother that just went into the safe house, or if it's a need and they have an infant baby or something like that, I want to be able to have things what we call urgent items. And so those are just people that if they say, hey, I just want to be there to support you, then we have a separate information and know this is what they want to do, and then we'll reach out to them, because I always want to be able to make sure that what we have is for what they need. If a woman is a size 8, but all my donations, that's why I don't do a lot of clothes, but all my
Right.
donations come in as an 18, that woman can't be served.
Very, very
You know,
true.
and so I want to make sure is that, and I do want to, because your next guest is Dominique, I'm very excited and happy to be able to have a new board. Having a board is another challenge.
Yeah, right,
And
absolutely.
So now going into that for this year, and I'm moving into a new place in my organization, Dominique is the president of Love by the Handle. So this is like an awesome, time that you got to be. And I would just want to say this as I'm finishing. Be open to change, even in your own business. That doesn't mean you're a failure.
Right.
It just means you need to change and be open to what's that new place that God has for you and those new people.
Well, you're going to get an amen from me on that one. You have to constantly be changing, shifting, pivoting, and asking yourself, so what's next? I think all of us should put ourselves in that position, because you're never done. You're not done until you check about this place. So that means there's work, and you should be always growing in some respect. So I love your work. I love you, adore you. Lovebythehandles.com. Please support. Come out for the benefit dinner next Thursday. Come and bid on the items in the silent auction. Come do your tour of the Thurgood Marshall Center, and come and be with some amazing women. I'm gonna be in the building. What's up? I'm just saying, you want to come and connect? Come on out and connect. And it's just $55. I know a lot of benefit galas that are double or triple that amount. So it's a very nominal amount to support an organization that's doing just amazing things in the community. So we love you, Amina McWhirter. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with our final guest, Ms. Dominique Rector.
Thank you.
We love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Thanks.
We have powerful words, we have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work, we're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. I will reach my destiny. I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say.
My hair is fine. All right, welcome back. We've had an amazing show so far. If you've been with us for our full couple of hours almost, all right, we're about 20 minutes or so from our top of the hour, but you know that we've had some really, really juicy stuff in the studio today, and juicy, amazing women in business who are just killing the game, not only through profit, but also through nonprofit
and just impacting the world with their unique gift. And so my next guest, I also have a very special place in my heart for her. She has been one of my clients as well, but has become definitely a sister friend, and someone that I highly respect as I'm seeing her walk in her God-given gift. And her name is Domalee Rector. Now, Domalee graciously is known as Minister Rector. You better do it, girl. And she is an inventive, humble servant whose life emulates a true giving spirit, evangelizing a resounding message of hope and recognizing self-worth while living a life of, I knew I heard about, I'm like, why do I hear myself outside of myself? So she recognizes self-worth while living a life of love, intentionally and on purpose. She's a mother of 3, a certified lay minister, a speaker, and an author, known for her love, dedication, and commitment to those she serves. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Excited.
I'm so excited.
Thank you for pressing through with, everybody, life gut punches you. You're like, look, this was some stuff that I didn't expect, and I know you've had some, medical challenges, but you pressed through, so thank you for being here. So we're going to talk in these 20 minutes that we have together really all about this project that you have, this amazing project called Breaking Free. Oh, hold on. Oh, that just gave me goosebumps, like chill bumps, right? Breaking Free, because that's so powerful, just that name. And so you have the Breaking Free book movement and project, and then you have the conference. Talk to us about why you started the book project, what's happening with the book project. I understand that you're in your round 2, and then why Breaking Free? Why those words?
Well, Breaking Free really, first of all, Cheryl, let me just thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And thank you for being my mentor, my coach, all of the above, my sister, all of that. Truly, I would not be in this space if it had not been for you, truthfully. Breaking Free Forever is so important to me because there were so many women that I was surrounded by, but they were broken. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we attract the same thing that's within ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so having gone through a process of breaking free, and we're all in a work in progress. But going through that process, I've found that there are women that need the help in order to be able to break free as well. Yeah. We've attended conferences all the time, mm-hmm. And in those conferences you see this big picture of, look at me now. This is what I've done, and here I am now. But there is no in between on how can I get there. And so aside from your PTIO, whoop, 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 whoop. there aren't many conferences that are geared towards truly helping people get to where they want to be.
And telling the truth. Yeah. Like you said, the middle. What happened in the middle? All right, I've started there and now I'm here, but what happened in the middle? Tell the truth. Tell the real truth.
Absolutely. And that's where our healing comes from. Yes. It's the in-between moments. Yes. It's not where I started here or where I am here. Yeah. I can't help someone heal by the way that they see me now, but they need to be able to hear what I've been through and how I went through it and what I did in order to get to my next level. Absolutely. And my next season. So that's where the Breaking Free Forever conference came from, because I wanted to not just talk about, I knew that everyone was talking about business. Right. But what about your personal life? Mm-hmm. And I knew that you really cannot prosper in your business if your personal life is jacked up. Mm-hmm. I found that myself. And so, so here we are. We need to start to, what's the need? And now that I know there's a need, now let's make sure that we service the people. So that's where the conference came from. And once that conference happened, it surpassed anything that I could ever imagine. Mm-hmm. I thought that I was just going to have about 10, 12, 15 people show up in the room. We had at least 75 people that time. And I was amazed. But it really was a testament not about who I was, but because of the need of the women that were in the room.
Yeah, that speaks volumes. You're right. And I love that you sat in a space, we talked about earlier about getting in a space of quiet, because we're in such a noisy marketplace, and everybody wants to say, look at me, and follow me, and like me, and this, and it's just this snapshot. I call it fake book. It's called Facebook, but it's fake book, and people are showing you what they think they want you to see, and they're wearing the mask. Yes. And so I love that you got into a quiet space to say, what's the real need for a lot of these women who look successful externally, but internally they're broken, they're battered, they're bruised. And so I love that whole idea of breaking free from your own fears, breaking free from your own self-limits, your doubts, breaking free from
pain that you've experienced in the past that you're still holding on to, and you're allowing that to hold you hostage to where you are versus where you could be. So it's very powerful, the words that words have power. And I tell people that all the time. That's why I love speaking, because it can change somebody's thought process. It can change, the path that they're on, just hearing the right words at the right time. So you put those two words together, breaking free, it just crosses so many platforms of what women are going through. So the conference, it's different. It's not your typical conference that we see a lot of times here in the DMV. It's based on authenticity. It's based on vulnerability. Transparency.
Yes.
Yeah, tell your real truth. That's going to be that's the saying that we're going out on. Tell the truth. Just tell the truth. And so I think my question is, what do you get from creating these platforms where women they really are still battered and broken and bruised? What is it that is the win for you by saying, I'm going to help you to share your story in a book, through a book project, or I'm going to have this conference that can help you to go through your healing process?
Well, one of the things that we as women, and I am a believer, I serve the church. That's where my heart and my passion is. And I believe that I was not called to the church because I am the church, but I was called into the world to be the church. And so in order for me to do that, I need to create environments where women, non-traditional ways to help women heal. And so the book was another way for women to heal. Women love to read books. Well, most women,
right?
And we love to read, back in my season, I love to read romance novels.
Right.
But it's wonderful when you can write your own story, but write it from a perspective of, I'm free from that, and let me show you how to become free.
Yes.
And so that's what the book is all about. It's about them freeing themselves by putting pen to paper, releasing their pain, and turning their pain into profit.
Yes, I love that.
They can take that book and do whatever they want with it. The sky is the limit. But a lot of times we allow our experiences to hold us back from experiencing new things.
Yeah.
What the book does is open a whole new platform, open a whole new window, sometimes a door, maybe even build a new house for you. Whatever. You have the control over your destiny.
Yeah, you talking up in here. Well, I know you are the church. Yes, amen. Well, okay. So what I love is you're right. Like, there's so much healing in writing. I do book projects myself, and the most recent book project I did was Women Inspiring Nations, and these women are sharing these, oh my God, amazing, sometimes traumatic stories of things they've been through and overcome. And what I got the most from this recent project, which we had 25 co-authors, was I didn't even realize how much I needed to be healed and was going to be healed through the writing process.
Amen.
So what you're doing is phenomenal, that you're creating that space of freedom for people who sometimes don't even know they need it still.
Yeah.
And you don't know you need it till you start writing, and you're like, whoa, I got to sit back and just take this all in, because emotions come up that maybe you haven't addressed. And when you start writing that thing out, and then I think also through that process of writing, you're realizing that you're becoming an inspiration for someone else, to let them know they're not alone, to let them know there's, glory on the other side of that story or that trauma that they're going through. So there's so much power in writing. And you guys know, I always say your story is about you, but it ain't for you. And that's exactly what you're echoing, is that these women are writing, yes, to free themselves, but most importantly, to help free others who will read their story. And you're either going to tell your story, or it's not going to get told, or it's going to get told from somebody else's perspective. You ain't telling my story. Right. I'm going to tell my story. I don't need you to tell my story. So we owe it to ourselves. That's right. You better hashtag I own the rights. Hashtag I own the rights to that story. Okay. Hashtag I own the rights. That's a perfect hashtag. Hashtag I own the rights, and I'm going to tell it my truth, my way, and share it from my perspective.
That's right.
Not having you trying to tell my story. And I hate when people do that. When somebody maybe passes away or something, and they telling it. Why you telling that person's story?
That's right.
You know, because you don't know the full scope of someone and what they go through and their experiences. You might hear some about it, but a lot of people hold things in. We don't all, especially in the African American
American community, because we're told we don't tell our business.
What happens in this house stays in this house.
Stays in this house. But I love that. That's kind of your tagline. I'm not a business coach, but I'm a coach that gets up in your business. Yes, get up in their business, Domily. So what is your overall objective, would you say? Like, where do you see this whole project going? Where do you see the movement going? Like, if we were to have some foresight and look 24 months down the road, 36 months down, so 2-3 years down the road, what's happening? And then after that, I want you to talk about some of the women who you have partnered with for the first project and the second book project.
Sure. So what's the vision? Well, the vision is just as simple, that we're taking this movement across the world. That's the vision.
Global, baby.
I have literally penned and coined it as a BFF nation. We have created a sisterhood.
I want a nation. I want my own nation. I'm just saying. She got the, let me write that down.
And it is a hashtag BFF nation.
Hashtag BFF nation. Look, Jocelyn says hashtag I own the rights. Yes. Noah saying I own the rights. Yes. But y'all she got a nation, y'all. I'm trying to have a nation. You like Steve Harvey. You got a BFF nation. All right. Well, you just inspired me there. I need a nation.
Yes. You know, here's the gist of it. This is not just a simple book project that I continuously do. I invest more of myself than anything else. And here's the reason why. It's not just creating a book. It's an actual program. These women go through at least up to 6 months of coaching with me, accountability, all of those things, working through not just learning how to write, but also learning how to be transparent, learning how to discover yourself, learning how to be authentically you, even in a world that tries to tell you who you're supposed to be. So, and truly identifying who you are in the world, so that when your book is done, you can go out in your own right and stand and feel like you belong in the room and not feel like you're intimidated by all the things that are happening in the room or in the world. So we are going to every city. That's what we're doing. We're doing book signings. I'm teaching them how to conduct a book signing, how to do your own, but each one of them are committed to the other person. And so they go where the book signing is. Every state. Pick a state, that's where we're going to go, and everyone is a part of the sisterhood, that's where we're going to be.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a nation after this, I'm just saying. So don't talk about me later and say I stole it.
That's all right.
I'm just saying, if you got a nation, I think I can have a nation too.
Yes.
And I love it, because we need more nations
amongst
the population of women. Like, we need our own intimate spaces where we're celebrated, we're encouraged, we're empowered, we're uplifted. And if you don't have that in your life, you need to get it. You need to find it. So I love, again, that you're focusing on kind of the personal development side, not just the, hey, write your story, write a book, or the business side, because there is that space in between. Like, how do I become more self-aware? How do I become more confident so that after the book is written, I can stand on the power of my story? And so I want you to talk about some of the women, because I know I saw the first book project, and you got some bad mama jammas in that project who have just taken that book. And I mean, they are just making such impact with it. It makes me smile every time I see it on social media. Altrigia, I see her, and Kiana, and I shouldn't name names because then I forget people because I'm horrible with names. But you tell us the other women who were in the first project, but they have taken such ownership of that project.
We started out with about 7 women, ended up with 4.
Okay.
And sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
but
they were the 4 right ones.
These were the 4 right women to be able to write their story.
Yes.
And so we have Altrigia, we have Kiana, we have Kimberly, and we have Sheena.
And
those are the fabulous, fantastic 4.
Yes, they are.
And they are phenomenal women. That book was released last year at the conference.
Yes.
They had their official book signing there. And ever since, they have been, everything that I've charged them to do, they've gone out and superseded anything that I can imagine.
I love it.
From talk shows to radio shows to Facebook Lives, they've created their own programs. They are doing what it's meant to be done with the book. That's the vision is literally being seen, not just by me, but you know, in the Bible it says, write the vision and make it plain so that they may go out and tell it. Well, guess what? the vision was written, it was written plainly, and they're the ones that's going out and telling the story. Yeah. And so that was the first book, but now they are now mentors to the next group.
That's so awesome.
Yes, so now they get to be mentors.
Yeah.
And so I now have 6 women. You see how that number increased?
Yep.
And I needed it to be small. I could have 25 women, but I made a vow that I would not take no more than 10 women at one time because I want to be able to give them all of me as it relates to issues with forgiveness and things that we really need to dig deep about. Yeah. And once we're free from those things, then we can go out and touch and impact another 10.
And I think that shows so much wisdom, because they're not just coming in to write a book project. You're actually guiding them, coaching them, mentoring them through the process and through their own self-discovery before they even write, the book. And so from my perspective, it makes sense to keep those things very small. Like less than 10 is a good number. Even with my Rock Your Stage program, I don't take more than 8 people in that group because I just can't serve that many people at that great of a capacity. So I love everything that you're doing. I love that these women are taking full ownership of the project. They are running with it. I'm so excited to see the next 6 women who are going to be coming in. When is that book project going to be released?
That's going to be released at this next conference, and that's September the 28th and 29th of this year. So that's when their first book release will take place for the second group, and it's called The Trails of a Triumphant Woman.
Awesome. Girl, you be coming up with them titles. Go Tom, go Toppily. Yes. So if people want to attend the conference, where is there a website? Where can they go? And you said the books will be available there at the conference.
Yes, the books will not be released until that day.
Okay, great.
But they can always be a part of the celebration. You're not just coming to get a book. You're coming to get free. That is really what you're doing. So in order to do that, visit our website at bffconference.com. Please put that in the feed. I see Miss Jocelyn. I see a few of them in there, but please, bff.com. That's when you can find out more about the BFF project, BFF conference, and anything BFF is there.
Yes. I want a nation. I got to give a huge shout out to, Cheryl. Judy says, yes, hashtag BFF Nation. Jocelyn is typing in the feed, bffconference.com. But I got to give a huge shout out to one of my clients who's watching right now. Her name is Aretha Cleveland, and she is a part of my new, I'm calling it the Speaker Nation. Can I do that?
Yes.
I'm just saying, that's my thing, right? But I have this new program called the Speaker Development Lab, which is allowing me to serve a lot more people, because I've done a lot of intimate serving over the past 8-9 years, and I want to have a broader reach. And so I'm doing a lot of group programs, bigger group programs. And she says that's how the students will be that are enrolled in the Speaker Development Lab. We're going to take the information and soar high, being Cheryl Wood's branches. You've been listening to them calls talking about them branches.
We are the branch.
Yeah, and I love that, that is an extension. You doing these platforms, the conference and the book, it's such an extension of you. It's such a part of your legacy. Like, it's not just, somebody saying your name. No, you are changing their lives. Like, they are experiencing things now that they would have never experienced had you not shown up, had you not accepted the assignment, had you not run with the vision. And you guys who are watching, like, that's how serious you got to take your unique fingerprint. You got to say, somebody is going to be missing out on the best of their life because I don't show up, or if I don't show up. And you got to think that every single day, even when it get tough, even when you're like, God, for real, we're the paying customers, right? Amen?
Amen.
Sometimes things happen in your business, and maybe you lost a big contract, or you didn't get a contract that you thought, or you didn't get recognition, and you've been doing the work, and you just got to be able to look all of that stuff straight on and say, but this is bigger than me, and somebody is waiting on me. And I think that's what you do, and that's what I love about you, and I love about Amina, and all the women who we had who were in the studio today, is that you're impacting the world. Hashtag impact the world. And don't ever diminish it.
And so, yeah, 6 women, that's huge. For 6 women who were not telling their story, now they telling it. Who are freeing themselves. Like, you help 6 more people, 6 more people on this earth to free themselves. Like, there's so much power in that, because there's some people who have a gift and they sitting on that thing. They ain't doing nothing with it. They ain't helping nobody. They ain't helping themselves. They ain't helping nobody else. They complaining and moaning and groaning and whining, and they spending all their time doing that instead of pouring their energy into impacting somebody else's life through your truth, through your story, and through your gift. Absolutely. So I just celebrate you so much. And let me just say, in addition to this whole BFF nation, I mean, I got to get my mind right around this thing. She got a nation. How did I get skipped over for a nation? But in addition to that, you also have, I assume you're still doing, the executive massage.
Yes.
Cheryl, when she lay hands on you, let me just tell you, you got the magical hands. So talk a little bit about that as we start to wrap up, as we kind of close out, and then I'll give you an opportunity again to share information about the BFF Nation.
Okay. Well, I am a certified licensed massage therapist.
Yes, she is, Hunty. I wish I had a pom-pom.
I enjoy doing it. I do it through my business, Executive Massage. It is mobile. I call it mobile ministry because laying hands on someone is more than just putting your hands and making them feel good. But really, I go into it believing that there's an area that still needs to be healed. And so in my mind, as I'm massaging, I'm thinking about this person's life is going to be changed because I'm putting my hands on them. And so I treat them with the utmost respect, you know. And I honor them by honoring, first of all, the God that gave me the gift to be able to do that. Absolutely. So as I'm doing it, it's me honoring God first, and then secondly, honoring them because they deserve to have that healing.
I love that. And I'm telling you, you are the bomb.com. I'm like, oh, Dom, my neck, Dom. Thank you for being with us. The BFF Nation, I know, is just going to just rock the world and just take the world by storm as you go city to city and state to state and country to country and continent to continent. And you make impact that absolutely is transforming people's lives. Keep up the great work. Again, if people want to connect, get for more information about the conference or the book, they're going to go to
bffconference.com. Or you can actually reach me on any social media platform, DT Rector 1. Anywhere, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, what else is out
Google
there?
Her, Hunty. Just Google her, Dominique Rector, and you will find her. So it's been an amazing show. Thank you again. Thank you for the work that you do. Keep up the great work. And guys, we will see you here again next Wednesday, same time, same place, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. with 4 more amazing guests. We'll see you next Wednesday.
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over.